A profound transformation is underway in the Middle East, one that is reshaping the region's political and economic landscape in ways few could have predicted just a decade ago. At the heart of this change stands Saudi Arabia, a nation long recognized as a cornerstone of U.S. influence in the Gulf, now embarking on a journey that is redefining its global alliances and ambitions. Once a steadfast U.S. ally, Saudi Arabia is now charting a bold new course, signaling a willingness to diversify its partnerships and assert greater independence on the world stage. This shift is not just diplomatic, it's strategic, reflecting a desire to balance old relationships with new opportunities. The kingdom is forging a deep partnership with China, a move that marks a significant departure from its traditional reliance on the West. This growing relationship with Beijing is about more than trade. It's about technology transfer, infrastructure development, and a shared vision for the future. Saudi and Chinese leaders are signing agreements that span energy, telecommunications, and even space exploration, signaling a new era in the kingdom's foreign and economic policy. This pivot is driven by a vision to move beyond oil dependency, aligning with the ambitious Vision 2030 agenda. The kingdom is investing heavily in renewable energy, advanced manufacturing, and digital innovation, aiming to create a diversified economy that can thrive in a post-oil world. Vision 2030 is not just a slogan, it's a blueprint for transformation, with goals that touch every sector of Saudi society. Saudi leaders see China as a partner that brings not just capital, but technology and expertise needed for rapid modernization. By collaborating with Chinese firms, Saudi Arabia is gaining access to cutting-edge innovations in artificial intelligence, green energy, and smart infrastructure. These partnerships are helping to build the foundations of a knowledge-based economy, empowering a new generation of Saudi entrepreneurs and professionals. By leveraging the growing competition between the US and China, Saudi Arabia is positioning itself as a pivotal player in global affairs. No longer content to be seen solely as an energy supplier, the kingdom is asserting its role as a nation with its own vision and influence, shaping the future of the Middle East and beyond. Saudi officials are now regular participants at international forums, advocating for regional stability and economic cooperation. This is a declaration of intent. Saudi Arabia is ready to write its own story in a rapidly changing world. With a new generation of leaders and citizens embracing innovation and global engagement, the kingdom is signaling to the world that it is determined to shape its destiny, confident in its ability to adapt and thrive in the 21st century. For decades, the US-Saudi alliance was built on oil for security, anchoring Middle Eastern geopolitics. But the American shale revolution and shifting US priorities have eroded this foundation. Washington's pivot to Asia and reduced military presence have made Riyadh question the reliability of its old partner. Tensions over regional conflicts, human rights, and oil production have further strained ties. Saudi Arabia now seeks greater autonomy, moving away from exclusive reliance on the US. The kingdom is not breaking with the West, but evolving, actively pursuing new partnerships to support its ambitious national agenda. This marks a strategic shift from dependency to a more balanced multi-partner approach. As US ties grow complicated, Saudi Arabia finds itself at a crossroads, reassessing its traditional alliances and searching for new partners that can help secure its future. The shifting dynamics in global politics have made it clear that relying solely on one superpower is no longer a viable strategy for the kingdom. In this context, China emerges as an increasingly attractive partner for Saudi Arabia, offering a fresh approach to diplomacy and development. The relationship is built on pragmatism, shared interests, and a vision for mutual growth. China's non-interference policy and its focus on mutual economic benefit resonate strongly in Riyadh, where leaders value sovereignty and stability. Unlike some Western partners, China avoids entangling itself in domestic affairs, which is highly appealing to Saudi decision-makers. The partnership now extends far beyond oil. China brings world-class expertise in infrastructure, technology, and rapid urban development, areas that are crucial for Saudi Arabia's ambitious transformation plans. From building roads and bridges to introducing smart city solutions, Chinese companies are leaving a visible mark on the kingdom's landscape. Chinese firms are at the forefront of constructing Saudi railways, developing futuristic smart cities, and establishing new industrial zones. These projects are not just about infrastructure, they are about accelerating Vision 2030, Saudi Arabia's blueprint for a diversified, knowledge-based economy. Through the Digital Silk Road Initiative, Saudi Arabia gains access to cutting-edge technologies, from artificial intelligence to 5G networks. This digital partnership is helping the kingdom leapfrog into the future, positioning it as a leader in the region's tech revolution. Such cooperation is vital for Saudi ambitions to become a global tech hub, attracting talent, investment, and innovation from around the world. The kingdom's vision of a modern, diversified economy is increasingly intertwined with its growing relationship with China. By partnering with China, Saudi Arabia gains new leverage on the world stage, strengthening its independence and ensuring it is no longer beholden to a single alliance or power bloc. This strategic flexibility is crucial in today's unpredictable geopolitical climate. China's role as a regional peacemaker, most notably brokering the Saudi-Iran rapprochement, further cements its value as a strategic partner. For Saudi Arabia, this evolving relationship with China is not just about economics, but about shaping its future place in a rapidly changing world. Vision 2030 and China's Belt and Road Initiative are not rivals. They're complementary engines of transformation. As Saudi Arabia builds new cities and logistics networks, it becomes a key node in China's modern Silk Road. Chinese firms are deeply involved in giga-projects like NEOM, bringing expertise and technology. Financial integration is growing, with joint ventures between Saudi and Chinese investment funds. Saudi Aramco's investments in China and Chinese stakes in Saudi renewables show a truly reciprocal partnership. This synergy is reshaping the region, making Saudi Arabia central to both its own and China's grand strategies. The most dynamic area of Sino-Saudi cooperation is technology and renewable energy. Saudi Arabia aims for 50% renewable electricity by 2030, turning to China's leadership in solar and wind. Chinese firms are building local manufacturing for green tech, creating jobs and transferring knowledge. Landmark deals like a $3 billion solar plant are transforming the energy landscape. In tech, Chinese giants like Huawei are powering Saudi smart cities and digital infrastructure. This partnership is fast-tracking Saudi Arabia's digital transformation and post-oil economy. By aligning with China, the kingdom is positioning itself at the forefront of global green and tech revolutions. The Saudi-China partnership is visible in massive trade growth and landmark deals. Bilateral trade soared from under $500 million in 1990 to over $100 billion by 2022. State visits yield multi-billion-dollar agreements in energy, tech, and construction. Saudi Aramco invests heavily in Chinese petrochemicals, securing future demand and market access. Chinese firms are integral to Saudi giga projects, from NEOM to logistics networks. Cultural ties are deepening. Mandarin is taught in hundreds of Saudi schools, and tourism targets millions of Chinese visitors. These initiatives go beyond economics, laying the foundation for a long-term, multifaceted alliance. The partnership is now embedded in the kingdom's transformation. Saudi Arabia's pivot to China unfolds amid fierce US-China rivalry, demanding diplomatic finesse. The kingdom isn't choosing sides, but pursuing a pragmatic, multi-vector policy. It maintains security ties with the US while deepening economic and tech links with China. This balancing act gives Riyadh leverage, extracting the best from both superpowers. However, as US-China tensions rise, pressure to pick sides will intensify, especially in sensitive sectors like technology. The US has voiced concerns over Chinese tech in Saudi infrastructure. For now, Saudi Arabia asserts its right to chart its own course, but sustaining this balance will test its diplomacy. The outcome will shape the kingdom's future and its role in the global order. The Sino-Saudi partnership is more than economic. It's cultural and diplomatic. Saudi Arabia is teaching Mandarin in schools, signaling a long-term commitment to understanding China. The kingdom aligns with China on key political issues and participates in China-led organizations like the Shanghai Cooperation Organization and BRICS. China's diplomatic role, including brokering peace with Iran, elevates its status in the region. Tourism and educational exchanges are building people-to-people ties, making the partnership resilient and multifaceted. This holistic approach is transforming Saudi Arabia's global posture and securing its interests in a multipolar world. Saudi Arabia's embrace of China marks a seismic shift in the global balance of power, sending ripples far beyond the Middle East. This bold move is not just about forging new alliances. It signals a reimagining of the kingdom's place on the world stage. As Saudi leaders deepen ties with Beijing, they are actively redefining their nation's strategic priorities, moving away from a decades-long reliance on Western partners. The world is watching closely, as this partnership could alter the dynamics of international relations for years to come. By accelerating the shift toward a multipolar world, Saudi Arabia is offering a compelling model for other nations seeking greater autonomy and influence. This approach encourages countries to diversify their alliances, reducing dependence on any single superpower. As more nations observe Saudi Arabia's assertive diplomacy, they may be inspired to pursue their own independent paths, potentially leading to a more balanced and interconnected global order. The growing Sino-Saudi axis is already reshaping the Middle East, with China emerging as a pivotal diplomatic and economic force in the region. This partnership is fostering new opportunities for trade, investment, and technological collaboration, while also challenging traditional power structures. As China's influence expands, regional players are recalibrating their strategies to adapt to this evolving landscape. One of the most significant aspects of this partnership is its potential to challenge the long-standing dominance of the US dollar in global energy markets. By exploring new ways to price and trade oil, Saudi Arabia and China could set a precedent for others to follow. Additionally, their collaboration in green technology and renewable energy projects may establish new industry standards, positioning both nations as leaders in the global transition to sustainability. Saudi Arabia is making a calculated bet that it can skillfully balance the interests of competing superpowers to fuel its own ambitious transformation. Through initiatives like Vision 2030, the kingdom aims to diversify its economy, attract international investment, and become a hub for innovation and progress. This strategy requires careful navigation of complex geopolitical currents, but the potential rewards are immense. If Saudi Arabia succeeds, its strategy will not only redefine the kingdom's global role, but also influence the future shape of the world order. The kingdom could emerge as a bridge between East and West, setting an example for others and amplifying its voice on the international stage. As Saudi Arabia forges this new path, the world is watching with anticipation. The choices made today could redraw the map of international power, ushering in a new era of global relations and opportunities for cooperation and competition alike.